Okay, guys, so let's talk about abortion, especially with Kamala Harris with her bloodthirsty, lusty, bloodlust, whatever you want to call it. The woman is a lunatic. Let's talk about how she wants to encourage women to kill their babies or for doctors to murder mothers' babies, right? So, how do you feel about opening up and beginning to share your story? What's the worst thing that could happen if you decide to trust God and allow Him to take you back into your pain, your secrets, shadows, and shame? So, a lot, even though this is the best book I've seen on the market so far, I mean, it still doesn't always hit the nail on the head, right? A lot of questions or a lot of books are geared to some are geared toward a victim mentality and some are geared toward total blame, right? So I just feel like, I'd love to write a curriculum for women who have been allowed, forced into abortion. And I don't even like that word abortion, but forced into murder, I should say. Just sit there and be lied to, manipulated at the doctor's office, and forced into watching your baby be killed. Because that's exactly what it is. And until we can name it, we're not going to be able to heal. So when I was laying there, and the doctor was really, really awful to me. The thing is, the nurse jumped in front of me. She jumped in front of me so that I would not be able to see the blood of my own child. And when you come to truth, it really hits you. And women do need to heal. Okay, so let me see. What would happen? Okay, nothing. Let me see. I'm just, scribbling here. When I shared my story, the first person that I remember telling was my husband. And I remember we were just friends, and I had blurted out and just said, something like, we were in the dining room and I said something like I had an abortion or something. This is when I was dating Mike. And maybe I had told Mike, I'm not sure, maybe, but my husband was the first one, and he's like, oh my goodness, that's awful, So when we tell somebody something, it helps to open up. So, and then I had told my best friend at the time, Michelle, right? And I was like, hey, we were on the waterbed, and, I had said something to her, and she's like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? That's how bad it was, without even thinking that it was nothing but something I just kind of had to go through because I was pregnant and I was in big trouble, and I didn't think a whole lot of it, right? And now, though, when I look back and I think, you were forced into murder, and the truth is you saw your baby killed. You saw that. So, until you get to that point where you can really, put it into the right perspective, you cannot heal. So it is a horrific thing for women. And then I don't think I said anything until I went to the pregnancy center and blurted it out. I was trying to get it out, right? And she's like, God forgives as far as the east to the west. And not that that was my fault, but I did have some kind of sense of, I guess, rescue, because a lot of women, when they have abortions, in this book she was saying, or when they are told that it's an abortion, but really they get to see their baby killed, basically, a lot of women are still having a feeling of needing to be rescued. And I remember being in there and being in trouble, and like the anxiety of just not knowing what was going to happen. Like I was told, sign the paper, don't read it. Not even knowing what to expect at a doctor's appointment is ridiculous. I had no idea, no discussion about, this is what's going to happen. We have dentist visits where the dentist will say, this is what we're going to do, and this is how it looks. Do you have any questions? It was just bam. It was just, come on in, and who knows what's going to happen. but you'll figure it out as we go along, kind of thing. So, the feeling of needing to be rescued, I think, is common. I think you are like, just, oh my goodness, you're just like, what's going on? Who is that person? Especially as a teen, you're like, what is going on? And then even when they put something in me and I didn't know what it was, I didn't even have a timeline of when the whole thing would be done, and it felt like it dragged on forever. Like, what is going on? Where are we going? Why are we going here? No information. And a lot of people will say, without information, there's a lot of misinformation. And I think that's true. No idea what the heck is going on, and then, to get driven partway home and not know who's going to be home and what's going to be said. I mean, it's just one thing after another. And, you just saw your baby murdered, and then, you get home and you're told, you see, your brother or something, and, he's like, what's going on with Melissa? Oh, shut your mouth. Your sister just had an abortion. Is it really an abortion? Shut your mouth. Your sister, we just killed her baby, basically, okay? So I didn't understand that. I just thought, for some reason, it wasn't a baby until you have the child, like, until you're, like, fat or something. And then, so to put it in, it takes time. It takes a lot of time for women to really understand what the truth is. And, when I was on the sidewalks, it was really good for me to see the other girls walking in there and seeing, I didn't show, but they were showing, and it's just like, holy crap. When you see the reality of it, it is just tough. So, to think, you saw your child killed and there was no funeral, it was just nothing, right? So get in there, ladies, and figure out your story, because if you don't, somebody else is going to tell it for you.